Ever wish you could, like, summon a storm,
Mm-hmm.
just to, like, water your plants?
Right.
Well, imagine having a god who could just do that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the ancient Canaanites and Phoenicians believed
Uh-huh.
they had in Baal.
Mm-hmm.
He's like this powerful force in their mythology,
Right.
often depicted as a storm god.
Uh-huh.
But you'll be surprised to know there's a lot more to him
Let's talk
than
about it.
just lightning bolts and torrential downpours.
Okay.
Fertility is a huge part of his story, too.
Interesting.
We've got a stack of sources here ready to unpack.
Okay.
Myths, rituals, even accounts from the Hebrew Bible.
Mm.
Think of it like piecing together a puzzle
Yeah.
to understand this God,
Okay.
who for these ancient people held the key to life and abundance.
What I find so captivating about Baal is that he's not just some like isolated deity.
Right.
His story reflects the very real fears and hopes of the people who worshipped him.
Mm-hmm.
Their lives were completely intertwined with the cycles of nature.
Yeah.
Rain meant a good harvest.
Uh-huh.
Drought meant hardship
Yeah.
and even death.
Right.
Baal embodies that struggle for survival against the elements.
Okay, so who eyes Baal exactly?
Mm.
I'm getting a Zeus vibe with the storm god thing.
Right.
But I bet there's more to him than meets the eye.
He's definitely got that larger-than-life energy.
Yeah.
But to really grasp his significance,
Uh-huh.
we need to start with his roots.
Okay.
Baal is considered the son of El,
Mm-hmm.
the supreme god in the Canaanite pantheon.
Okay.
That immediately puts him in a position of power and authority.
So we're talking divine royalty here.
Exactly.
No wonder he's got such a big reputation.
And to make things even more intriguing,
Yeah.
he's closely linked to Anat,
Okay.
a goddess who is both a fierce warrior
Mm-hmm.
and a powerful symbol of love and desire.
Wow.
Their connection hints at the dual nature.
Right.
That makes Baal so fascinating.
I'm seeing a pattern here. It's
Uh-huh.
like this idea of duality is baked right into his character. He's
Yeah.
this force of nature, capable of unleashing chaos,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also deeply connected to the life-giving forces of
Yes.
fertility and abundance.
You're picking up on a key theme here.
Okay.
And to understand it further,
Mhm.
we need to look at the stories they told about him.
Okay.
Think epic battles, divine power struggles,
Right.
and a journey to the underworld and back.
Wow.
A primary source for all of this is the Baal cycle,
Okay.
a collection of ancient texts discovered in Ugarit,
Uh-huh.
which tell the tales of Baal's exploits.
Lead me into the drama. I'm ready for some ancient god-on-god action.
One of the most famous stories involves Baal's clash with Yam,
Okay.
the god of the sea.
Okay.
Imagine this.
Yeah.
Yam, chosen by El to rule,
Yeah.
becomes this oppressive tyrant who throws the world into chaos.
Wow.
Baal, however, refuses to submit.
Okay.
He commissions these incredible weapons
Mm-hmm.
from a divine craftsman close, known as Yagrush and Aor, and then goes head-to-head with Yam in a battle that shakes the very foundations of existence.
Okay, that sounds intense.
Yeah,
But why is a storm god fighting the god of the sea?
right.
Shouldn't they be, like, on the same team?
That's where the symbolism gets really interesting.
Okay.
This battle represents the struggle for order against chaos,
Hmm.
a theme that resonates throughout mythology.
Yeah.
The storm god, while bringing life-giving rain,
Right.
can also unleash devastating storms and floods.
Mm-hmm.
It's about that fine line
Yeah.
between creation and destruction,
Right.
something the ancient Canaanites would have understood all too well.
So Baal steps up as the hero,
Yes.
the champion who restores order
Uh-huh.
and secures his place as a leader.
Precisely.
Okay.
And this victory establishes his role as a protector,
Hmm.
someone who stands against the forces that threaten life and stability.
Right.
But the real drama unfolds in his next challenge,
Okay.
a confrontation with a far more formidable opponent, Mot, the god of death.
Well, I've got chills now. This is taking a dark turn.
This battle isn't just a physical showdown.
Okay.
It's a symbolic clash with the ultimate force of nature.
Hmm.
And as the myth goes,
Mm-hmm.
Baal is actually defeated
Oh, no.
and descends into the underworld.
Wait, so the god of life and fertility is defeated by death.
Yes.
What happens to the world when he's gone?
This is where the story gets really poignant.
Okay.
Baal's absence,
Yeah.
the absence of the storm god,
Right.
brings about a devastating drought.
Oh, wow.
The land becomes barren, crops wither,
Yeah.
and life itself is threatened.
Right.
It mirrors the anxieties those ancient people felt about the fragility of their existence, their total dependence on the forces of nature.
So Baal's death literally brings about the death of the land. Talk about high stakes.
Uh-huh.
But I'm sensing there must be more to the story. He
Yeah.
can't stay dead forever, can he?
You're right to suspect a twist,
Okay.
and it's one that goes beyond just this one god.
Okay.
Hold that thought, though, because what we haven't talked about yet is how people actually worshipped Baal.
Right.
I mean, how do you appease a god with that much power
Yeah.
over life and death?
Right.
What rituals did they perform?
I'm all ears.
Okay.
Give me the ancient rituals.
Okay.
Animal sacrifices, chanting, ecstatic dancing, the works?
They definitely went all out.
Yeah.
Animal sacrifices were a central part of their worship,
Uh-huh.
particularly bulls and lambs,
Okay.
both potent symbols of fertility,
Interesting.
and they held grand festivals, some of which involved reenacting Baal's union
Wow.
with goddesses like Anat or Asherah.
Okay, that sounds like a party I wouldn't want to miss.
Huh?
But I'm guessing it wasn't all feasting and celebration, right?
Right.
There had to be a darker side
Uh-huh.
to appease a god as powerful as Baal.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
In times of extreme hardship,
Yeah.
especially during prolonged droughts,
Right?
there is evidence that some cultures resorted to human sacrifice.
Oh.
It's a stark reminder of just how desperate they were
Yeah.
to ensure Baal's favor
Right.
and the life-giving rain he brought.
That's heavy stuff. But it shows just how central he was to their entire way of life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Baal wasn't just a figure in their myths.
Right.
He was an integral part of their daily existence,
Uh-huh.
their hopes for survival
Mm-hmm.
and their fears of destruction.
Right.
And this brings us to another fascinating layer of Baal's story,
Okay.
one that reveals the complex religious landscape of the time.
Hmm.
It involves a clash of ideologies, a battle for the hearts and minds of the people,
Okay.
and it all revolves around...
Ooh, cliffhanger. You've got to tell me more.
Okay.
What kind of clash are we talking about?
Mm.
Who dared to challenge a god as powerful as Baal? Oh, okay. Spill the beans, you dared to go up against Baal.
Well, this is where the story intersects with the rise of a new belief system,
Okay.
monotheism,
Mm-hmm.
specifically the worship of Yahweh,
Right.
the God of the Israelites.
Okay.
The Hebrew Bible portrays Baal as a rival to Yahweh,
Mm-hmm.
and their conflict reflects the real-life tensions
Right.
between the Israelites
Yeah.
and the Canaanite people who worshiped Baal.
So it's more than just a clash of the titans.
Right.
It's a cultural and religious showdown.
Precisely.
Okay.
And one of the most dramatic scenes unfolds on Mount Carmel,
Okay.
where the prophet Elijah challenges the priests of Baal
Uh.
to a contest of divine power.
Wow.
It's a classic showdown.
Yeah.
Who can call down fire from heaven
Right.
to consume their sacrifice.
I can already picture this scene.
Yeah.
The tension, the drama, the anticipation.
It's a pivotal moment in the story.
Right.
Yahweh answers Elijah's prayer,
Okay.
sending fire down to consume his sacrifice.
Wow.
The priests of Baal,
Yeah.
despite their elaborate rituals
Mm-hmm.
and desperate pleas,
Yeah.
get nothing.
Oh, wow.
This victory is seen as a symbolic win for monotheism
Yeah.
and a turning point in the religious landscape of the region.
Talk about a power move.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing Baal's decline wasn't just about one epic showdown. There
Right.
must have been other factors at play, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The rise of monotheistic religions like
Mm-hmm.
Judaism,
Mm-hmm.
Christianity,
Right.
and later Islam played a significant role.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the influence of empires like
Right.
Assyria,
Mhm.
Persia, Greece, and Rome,
Yeah.
each with their own gods and belief systems.
Right.
Baal's story, then,
Yeah.
is about more than just one god's rise or fall.
Uh-huh.
It reflects these larger shifts
Right.
in cultural and religious power.
It's fascinating how these ancient stories can offer such a window into the past, revealing not just religious beliefs,
Right.
but also power dynamics,
Yeah.
cultural clashes, and the anxieties of entire civilizations.
That's what makes studying mythology so compelling.
Right.
Like peeling back the layers of time
Yeah.
to understand the forces that have shaped our world.
Mm-hmm.
But before we move on, I want to go back to something we touched upon earlier.
Yeah.
Baal's duality. This intriguing blend of seemingly opposite forces within him.
Oh, yeah, that's something I've been pondering too.
Uh-huh.
It's like he embodies both the life-giving
Mhm.
and destructive aspects of nature.
Right.
I mean, storms can be terrifying,
Yeah,
but they also bring much-needed rain.
exactly.
Yeah.
And this duality isn't just some random quirk of his character. It reflects a profound understanding of the natural world
Okay.
that was central to the Canaanite worldview.
Mm-hmm.
They recognized that life and death,
Yeah.
creation and destruction,
Mm-hmm.
were inextricably intertwined.
So it's not a black and white
Right.
good
Okay.
versus evil kind of thing.
Okay.
It's more about acknowledging the complexity
Yes.
and interconnectedness of nature,
Uh-huh.
accepting that both forces are essential for balance.
Precisely.
Okay.
And this acceptance of duality extended beyond just their understanding of nature.
Right.
It's also reflected in Baal's relationship with Anat,
Right.
the goddess of war and love.
That's a pairing that really piqued my interest.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about their connection and what it reveals about Baal's character?
Well, on one level,
Yeah.
it reinforces that idea of duality.
Okay.
Baal isn't just a warrior or a fertility god.
Right.
He embodies both power and passion,
Mm-hmm.
destruction and creation.
It's like he's the ultimate embodiment of opposites attract.
Right. That's a great way to put it.
Uh-huh.
But their relationship is also fascinating.
Okay.
Because Anat is no mere damsel in distress.
Right.
She's a fierce and independent goddess,
Yeah.
a warrior in her own right.
Oh.
In some versions of the myths,
Mm-hmm.
she's even the one who rescues Baal from the underworld
Yeah.
after his battle with Mot.
So she's his equal.
Yeah.
His partner in crime.
Right.
Not just a passive love interest.
Exactly.
I like that. It
Yeah.
challenges a lot of those stereotypical tropes we see in mythology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the power and agency of female deities
Right.
in these ancient cultures.
Uh-huh.
Andit wasn't just a symbol of love and beauty. She was a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
Their relationship adds depth and complexity to both their characters
Uh-huh.
and challenges us to think beyond simple binaries.
Okay. I'm hooked.
Uh-huh.
Tell me more about how their relationship ties into the larger themes of Baal's story.
Okay.
What does it tell us about his role as a fertility god?
Well, it's important to remember that in ancient societies,
Mm-hmm.
fertility wasn't just about crops and livestock.
Right.
It was also about human procreation,
Okay.
the continuation of the family line,
Mm-hmm.
the very survival of the community.
Right.
Baal's association with sexuality
Mm-hmm.
and his union with Anat were seen as vital
Yeah.
to ensuring the fertility of the people as well.
So it's like their relationship, this
Yeah.
powerful combination of love and war,
Right.
embodies the creative forces that drive life itself. Yep.
It's both in nature and within human society.
Exactly.
Wow.
And this multi-layered symbolism makes Baal such a compelling and enduring figure.
Yeah.
He embodies these primal forces that are still relevant to us today,
Right.
even if we express them in different ways.
Speaking of different expressions,
Uh-huh.
those fertility festivals we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
they weren't just about praying for a good harvest, right? They're also celebrations of life,
Mm-hmm.
abundance.
Yeah.
And, well, let's just say they knew how to have a good time back then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Music, dancing, feasting.
Right.
These festivals were a way to express joy,
Mm.
gratitude,
Uh-huh.
and even a bit of wild abandon.
It's amazing to think that even thousands of years ago,
Yeah.
people recognized the importance of celebrating life
Uh-huh.
and connecting with each other. But I have to ask,
Yeah.
do you think there's a connection between those ancient celebrations
Right.
and how we approach those same themes today? That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
And I think the answer is yes,
Okay.
but in perhaps unexpected ways.
Okay.
While we might not hold grand festivals in honor of a fertility god,
Right.
we still seek out ways to connect with nature,
Mm.
to celebrate life's abundance, and to find moments of joy and connection
Uh-huh.
amidst the chaos of the world.
So it's like those fundamental human desires, those primal urges to celebrate life, to find meaning and connection,
Yeah.
they haven't gone away.
Exactly.
We just express them in different ways now.
Uh-huh.
But I'm curious, what about you? What aspects of Baal's story resonate most with you personally?
That's a thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
for me,
Hmm?
it's the idea of embracing duality,
Mm-hmm.
recognizing that life is full of seeming contradictions.
Right.
We all have light and shadow within us,
Yeah.
and it's about finding a way to integrate those seemingly opposing forces
Uh-huh.
to find balance and wholeness.
That's such an important message.
It's about accepting that we're not just one thing,
Right.
that we can be both strong and vulnerable, fierce and compassionate.
Exactly.
It's about celebrating the full spectrum of human experience.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I think there's also a lesson here about resilience.
Okay.
Baal faces numerous challenges,
Oh.
even death itself.
Yeah.
But he always finds a way to come back, to be reborn, to renew himself.
Wow.
It's a powerful reminder that even in the face of adversity, even when things seem hopeless, there's always the possibility of renewal and growth.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
It's not just about bouncing back from setbacks. It's about evolving, transforming, and finding new ways to thrive, even in the face of change.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's about adapting to the ever-changing circumstances of life, about finding the strength to rise above challenges and embrace new possibilities.
I'm feeling inspired to go out and embrace my inner Baal now.
But before we get carried away,
Yeah.
we haven't even touched on his legacy in the modern world.
Right.
It's one thing to talk about ancient myths,
Yeah.
but does Baal still hold any cultural relevance today? It's amazing to think that a figure like Baal, a god who was worshipped thousands of years ago, could still be making waves in pop culture today.
It is rather remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it speaks to the enduring power of these ancient myths.
Yeah.
Even though we might not believe in them in the same way that those ancient people did, they still tap into something fundamental about the human experience.
I'm thinking about all those superhero movies and fantasy novels that are so popular these days. Do you think there's a connection there? Like we're still drawn to these stories of gods and monsters, of epic battles and supernatural powers?
I think you're onto something.
Okay.
These ancient myths provide a blueprint for the kinds of stories we tell ourselves. Even today.
Yeah.
They deal with universal themes, good versus evil, the struggle for power, the search for meaning, the battle against chaos.
Yeah.
It's no coincidence that these themes resonate across cultures and time periods.
So in a way, Baal is still out there battling it out in our collective imagination.
I like that.
But how has his image changed over time?
Right.
I mean, he's gone from being a powerful deity to this controversial figure, and now he's popping up in comics and video games. It's quite a transformation.
It's a fascinating journey, and it reflects how our perceptions of these ancient figures can evolve. Baal's story has been told and retold, reinterpreted and reimagined through the lens of different cultures and historical periods.
So it's not just about Baal himself. It's about how we as a culture project our own ideas and anxieties onto these ancient figures. We see in them what we want to see, what resonates with our own experiences and beliefs. And that's why studying mythology can be so revealing. It's not just about learning about ancient gods and goddesses. It's about understanding ourselves and the cultural forces that have shaped our worldviews. Okay, I'm starting to see how this deep dive into Baal goes way beyond just ancient history. It's about understanding the human condition. Our enduring fascination with these powerful archetypes, these figures who embody both our greatest hopes and our deepest fears.
That's a great way to sum it up.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what's your biggest takeaway from all this? What's sticking with you as we wrap up our exploration of Baal?
You know, when we started this deep dive, I was expecting just a cool history lesson about some ancient storm god. But it's become so much more than that. I think what's really struck me is how relevant these ancient myths still are. They grapple with questions that we're still asking today. Questions about the nature of good and evil, the struggle for balance, the meaning of life and death.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah.
It's easy to dismiss mythology as just stories, but they hold so much wisdom and insight. They offer a glimpse into the minds and hearts of our ancestors. And they can still teach us a lot about ourselves.
I'm also walking away with a newfound appreciation for duality. For the idea that life is full of contradictions and complexities. Baal embodies that so perfectly. The storm god who brings both life-giving rain and destructive floods. The warrior who is also a lover. The god who faces death and is reborn.
That's such a powerful insight.
Yeah.
And it's a message that resonates throughout mythology.
It's
about recognizing that life is messy, chaotic, and full of paradoxes. And it's about finding a way to embrace all of it. To find beauty and meaning even in the darkest of times.
So as we wrap things up, what's the final thought you want to leave our listener with?
I think it's this.
Don't
underestimate the power of myth. These stories, even the ones that originated thousands of years ago, still have the ability to teach us, to inspire us, to challenge us to think differently about the world and our place in it.
Okay.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions,
Right.
and keep allowing yourself to be surprised by the wisdom that these ancient tales can offer.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to do your own digging. There's a whole world of mythology out there waiting to be discovered. Who knows what insights and inspiration you might find along the way.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Baal.